Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Tug of War campaign casts this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got two games, the first game being a unification game, a 2v2 on Ruined Greatway. Playing as the Dark Angels, we've got Poggers, and his teammate Tiger Shark as the Imperial Fists. In the opposing team, we have got Ohm as the World Eaters, and we've got Eri 7889 role-playing as the Iron Warriors, but taking form of the Imperial Fists. So I've got a little bit of a thematic kind of matchup here. Iron Warriors versus the Imperial Fists over onto this side, which is always tasty to see. But Dark Angels versus World Eaters, I don't know if they've got any special beef. I do know they've got something to do with the corn person, greater god, or whatever you call him. But we'll just roll with it, shall we? So quite a small map, so that will be quite an advantage to the World Eaters, considering that if we look at them there, they're going to go to their storm chambers. So lots of jumping, close, aggressive troops coming on here. Going for an armory over on this side and some more tech marines, implying that there will be some form of thunder fire cannon, which is actually quite brave, considering that we've got the berserkers coming out over on this side. It's generally quite a common opening for the World Eaters. In fact, it's probably their strongest, all things considered. They're able to spam up quite a few of them, and they're really, really good in the early to mid-game. Fall off a little bit when big zapping artillery and tanks come online, but then again, they can also get their melter bombs to mitigate that. So we'll keep our eyes on them. Got some scout marines from Poggers coming in, taking out a couple of blood pack troopers. Blood pack troopers are, I know that says every single time, but they're bloody rubbish. They cannot hold a candle to anything. They might be, quite possibly, the worst cultists you could possibly get. Then again, I imagine they don't have much of a training during their time being part of the World Eaters. They go up, they take the steroids, they do arm day, but they skip leg day. I assume that's how it goes. Cornet Lord going to come out, which will chase these scouts away, managing to deny this Alt of Khorne just for a little while. They do not want to stay in close combat for too long against the World Eaters, as the World Eaters gain an economic boon every time they engage in close combat. Siege Marines are looks like they're going to try and engage in close combat with the Thunder Fire Cannon. Oh, never mind, they're going to be quite polite. Just get out the river. A bit too cold, isn't it? Temrin going to come over and see what they could do. Like we saw in the last game with the Imperial Fist, incredible amount of damage from the Tech Marine here, but these guys can shirk off a lot of range fire, so don't know if the Thunder Fire Cannon was the way forward. I'm not sure if they were aware of who is spawning on which side of them, so can be forgiven for that kind of stuff over there. If you are new to the channel, if this is the first time you've ever watched the game, we do a little tug of war thing on the server. Lots of people play games, count out how many wins from one side or the other. Each side has got like a particular faction, so it's the Horus Heresy. And at the end, like always, I will get the AI to read out some wonderful stories that Tiger Shark has written and announce who won this leg of the campaign. As always, free. The last one was won by the Chaos Space Marines. So if the Space Marines don't win this one, then they'll be basically fighting for their lives for the next couple of weeks. And if they do win, well, then it's all up in the air, isn't it? Thunder Fire Cannon, a little bit out of position, now being chased around by these Khornite Raptors, as well as Evil Van Diesel. So there we go. That is a thing. They will also engage in some ranged shenanigans with the Tech Marine. Not sure if two Tech Marines can take him on, but they'll certainly give it a bloody good go. Getting him down to a good chunk of health. Got some Siege Marines on this side as well. Thunder Fire Cannon still knocking around over on this side. Going to waddle its way back home. Won't be totally useless if there was like a kind of a front line going on, but the Khornite Marines can ignore that front line and bounce over. He's deciding to just have a last stand kind of situation for knocking these guys back. So there we go. We are going to see a heavy bottle turret being placed down here, and a Vin Diesel as well as a Hand of Dawn for Tiger Shark here, so he's deviating away from the Thunder Fire Cannons. Over here we've got a Company Master going toe-to-toe with the Khornite Lord. And he's doing alright. His swings hit harder, but we've got some more firepower coming from Poggers over here, so he's sustaining the combat a little bit better. Khornite Raptors now coming over and cutting these guys on. Even more being summoned down here. How many have you got? 1, 2, this will be your third. Yeah, your third squad of Khornite Raptors. It's bloody bonkers. And now that the Company Master almost actually got the Khornite Lord on by himself. What an absolute hero. He will turn back around, wants to claim that blood and skulls. He's kind of like having a bit of a bad day. Sieging up. And now the center point, more or less, is in control of the traitors. We do have the Imperial Fists capturing this critical location, but that is not going to last for much longer. Oh, no, he says that. These guys, being very polite, going to leave this strategic point to these guys. You could go over there and kill them if you really wanted to, but he's not going to. And these guys are chilling out. They're regaining their numbers. Ideally, you'd want these guys to come in and start slapping things around, like some plasma dynamos and some scouts, but we're not seeing that today. Sometimes I can't remember how long ago it was, but on TheLaughingMax's channel there was a video of the player, I do believe his name was Corn Berserker, and he plays a lot of World Eaters, and quite often you'll see these Cornet Raptors be absolutely amazing at killing loads of units. You can kill the plasma generators, but actually taking down production buildings are a little bit lackluster, and sometimes they go a little bit too hard and too heavy, losing a fair few models because their model health isn't amazing. So very much hit and run. Like what we're seeing right now, hitting and running towards the enemy, but hit and run nonetheless. We see a minefield coming down for Tiger Shark as the Siege Marines get wiped out to a man. Siege Captain over here going to use his plasma pistol to the best of his ability. But the Cornet Raptors don't seem to mind at all. Also got these Space Marines. Oh, sorry, should I say Chaos Space Marines, because that's what they're role-playing as. They will fall back. They've done their damage. A little bit of pain. Makes for a little bit of pleasure before falling back. Scouts over here, taking out this Alt of Khorne, unable to defend itself, really. These guys are not too keen. Cornet Raptor's not known for their calm demeanour. Where are you going? You're just snaking around. Oh, I see. You're going to go in for the flanking manoeuvre. You're going to see some frag grenades for the Imperial Fists, I think. Oh no, for the Iron Warriors. God, this is really confusing me. These guys are going to come in. Space Marine and Scouts alike, they don't care what, as long as they can slap all of them. And very hard to stand up against these people unless you've got multiple layers of fire. The sheer amount of them. But, I mean, they cost, what, 65 blue and 5 green, so very expensive to get this amount of this early in the game. Probably will not see a tier 2 from these guys anytime. Oh no, he says that. There's tier 2 there. Never mind me then. You guys gone for your tier 2s. You're going to go for tier 2 now at the moment, Poggers. We are not seeing a tier 2 from you yet, Mr. Tiger Shark, but tier 2 for Eri 7889. So not only have they got the map advantage, they've also got the tech advantage, which might explain why they're not being too aggressive at the moment. They're going to wait till they get that killing blur before coming in. And plenty of turrets as well. It's causing them cause for concern. Plasma gun turret, amazing against heavy infantry. I've seen the Razorback Mark 1. Oh, so you are got into tier 2. Oh, I don't know. You'd normally have that build add-on kind of thing down there. Unless that's researched somewhere else. Fine, you keep your secrets a bit confusing. That's fine. Either way, Razorback Mark 1. It's the Razorback. Oh, it's the workhorse, sorry, of the Imperial Fists tank roster. Very cheap. Get it early. Great against basically anything you could throw at it. Decent amount of health for a Razorback as well. Cornet Raptors are going to jump over, see if they can get a flanking manoeuvre on these guys. Siege Marines have been taken down. Mark 1, not sure what to do on its own, so it's not going to be thrown away willy-nilly, which I quite like to see. And these guys are going to move over and think about taking... Oh no, have you got the critical location? Oh, Ohm's got it. Right, okay, so he's got the critical location. Siege Captain going to do a little bit of a drive-by here. Tech Marines going to add their combi bolters and flamers to the mix. Raptors have now got their jump upgrade, which makes them even more deadly in the close combat department. I think it's got a little bit of a cooldown on it, so they don't jump every single time they attack. Heavy bottle turret chugging down some ammunition down this central causeway here. Another Razorback popping out. And the Cornet Raptors don't like that, so they'll leave. See if they can maybe attack from a different angle, but being confronted by another plasma guns turret. And Eri not getting the message. He's not been told it's time to go home. He's got Librarian in his ranks. Listening to the mad machinations of the warp. Will force them back. I haven't quite got around to taking on the heavy bottle turret. Imperial Fist showing that ability to defend very nicely. Got the Altar of Khorne still not being present here. Got some more Blood Pack Troopers just chilling out over here. They're going to do what they can. Firing away. Before retreating. Yeah, mainly they're just kind of like a capping unit. Capping in the most extreme sense possible. We go for tier 3 for the World Eaters. Let's have a quick look at the econ. Got 68 and 20 and 97 and 50 compared to 62 and 30 and 103 and 30. Let's look at it from the Dark Angels perspective. So, neither team got a serious economic advantage. Maybe the Iron Warriors have a little bit more money in the grand scheme of things, but I mean, these guys, I don't think he's gone for his economy upgrade. Each player's only really got access to 2. Oh, 3, sorry, yeah, so no reason why his economy is so low. It just is. Razorback's been flanked. A little bit of a surround on this one. This one's managed to break free. Khornite Lord here trying to regen his health, but it's very, very slow at regenning. Might as well even well just throw him into combat and see what he can do. Might die straight away, but absorb some fire at the very least. Another Altar of Khorne goes down, further reducing the econ of the World Eaters. They will now fly over on the edge and throw some... Ah, you've got some melter bombs. Right, okay, yep. That will sort out the Razorback, and then they can use their chain axes to sort out everyone else. What a wonderful multi-use unit the Khornite Raptors are. Got another Razorback going to move in for supporting fire. At the very least, these guys will fall back to their heavy bottle turret position, managing to save a few units as well. Yeah, this is quite a wonderfully defensible position from the perspective of the Dark Angels. Can't remember, what have you gone for? You've gone for... Oh, what's that company? Is it the Deathwing? I want to say Deathwing. The one where he gets motorbikes. That's what I'm guessing. I can't remember what all the symbols look like. We'll find out soon, I imagine. One really brave scout coming out. Oh, no, he's got a friend. That's fine. He's going to come out. They've managed to cap this strategic point. Got a bit of a mixture in the middle. We now have a Predator Executioner. Wonderful, wonderful unit against heavy infantry. And both the Iron Warriors and the World Eaters have primarily got heavy infantry for them to mess around with. Will fall back and avoid those melter bombs if he can. But 5,420 health. Will take a few bombs to chug him down. The Apothecary for the Iron Warriors here. We keep these guys alive, he says, if he stays with the troops, but went a little bit too far forward. Do have a Hellfire Dreadnought now coming in. Able to garner a missile launcher should it choose. But primarily used for bonking things in the face. Does have a little Gatling gun at the front, but he seems to be really distracted by something else. What are you looking at? What is over there? It's a wonderful vista, don't get me wrong. A lovely view, but can't imagine why you're so enamoured by what's going on that way. Oh, that's unfortunate. Then again, Chaos Dreadnoughts are a lot less reliable than the regular Dreadnoughts. When you've got a pilot inside your Dreadnought and they've gone absolutely bonkers. No, they're not going to be the most tactical men, are they? Got another Predator Executioner out on the field. Razorback on the back lines, providing a lot of covering fire. Heavy armour fortification. Taking a fair bit of damage. These guys are trying to focus it down before they can get any more tanks out. Got some mines attempting to be built up over here. Got some rage for the Khornite Marines. Or Raptor, sorry. They're increasing their damage. Dark Angels over here, equipped with their heavy bolters. Providing some firing support. More heavy bolter turrets going down. And these guys will not die. Lord of mercy. A lot of them are very low health there. Very low health indeed, so they will fall thick and fast when they start to fall. Just getting them to do it. Iron Warriors, Chaplain, also great for health regen. Not sure if he works on the Khornite Raptors. Oh, we're gonna. Whoa, what were you doing? Spinning around. There we go. He's lost all sense of where he is now. He's just gonna take down this heavy weapons fortification as quickly as he can. These guys are chasing after these devastators. Might want to turn your attention to this very lovely siege generator that is currently undefended, which is where all the green money for the Imperial Fist do come from. But the Predator Executioner managing to break the will of the Iron Warriors for now. Pushing them back. Turret has been broken. Minefield being cancelled. And these Devastator Marines, they cannot win in a close combat engagement with most things, let alone a Khornite Raptor squad of this amount. Iron Warriors will also come over and watch these guys die at the hands of the servants of the Blood God. Another Executioner on the way. You are going to rebuild your heavy armor fortification. Anything crazy going on this side? Nope. None for you. Anything crazy for you? You looks like you're in tier 3 by the looks of things. You've gone for Demon Gate. No demons as of yet. And we are seeing nothing too crazy round your end. So everyone just quite comfortable mixing and meandering around with their tier 2/3 units. Quite a focus on the heavy infantry still for the northern side. We're now seeing these guys transition more into vehicles, which makes sense, as the Khornite Raptors are not great against vehicles apart from the melter bombs, sorry. Well, actually, you can get yourself upgraded with melter guns, can't you? Yes, you can. 3 apiece. So these guys can turn their hands to most things. But a Mortis Dreadnought, ideally, I think it's the most beautiful looking Dreadnought. Just because of just its arms. Look at those strong and handsome arms going on there. Very nice to see. I was thinking a Razorback of the Dark Angels. Not as impressive as the Imperial Fists. But we're not here to judge. Over here, the World Eaters have seen a couple of scouts. And they will say, "Oi, mate, get off our lawn." Razorback over here, armed with... In fact, not armed with anything. It just comes out with its twin-link bolter. Maybe it can stop this altar of corn being built up. Does not seem like it'll get there. We'll fall back instead to the safety of the Inner Sanctum. Got a Vault of Secrets, but nothing coming from that place as of yet. Can get some cool, gnarly bits and bobs. And a Ravenwing Sanctuary. It's a little bit of a mix. He's going for a couple of production buildings and seeing what he can kind of pull out. Like I say, I think I'm absolutely certain this is... Oh no, you've changed. Right, so is this the Deathwing? Or the Razor Wing, or the... I don't bloody know. It's all different. Emmy says Dawn is coming. Oh, right, okay, sir. Right. Role-playing time, boys and girls. This is not Rogel Dawn. This is Perturabo. Just imagine... It was Perturabo that was the Primarch of the Iron Warriors. I think. Oh, gosh, I actually can't remember. There's too many Primarchs, in my opinion. 18. Well, it was actually, what, 21 if you include the twins? And the two that are... the ones that must not be named. So yeah, too many for me, personally. But everyone's kind of chilling out at the moment. Critical location is still within the hands of Ohm. So he's got the options to get the big units out if he wants to. Great Portal of Champions on the way. It's like your regular Portal of Champions, but a little bit better. Got Gifts of Khorne, because Khorne is always giving out the good stuff. So do a quick econ check. 64 and 64. 174 and 93. 65 and 29. And 113 and 70. So when Perturabo comes out, I imagine he'll be manoeuvring down the centre or down one of these little ends. Maybe even... Because, I mean, realistically, there's not much defence. In fact, actually, a chink in the armour. There's not much defence going on over onto this side. It seems to be all focused around on this centre point here. So that might be the place to go. Do have some devastated Centurions and equip themselves with las cannons to help them go up against these Mark Razorbacks. Or Razorback Marks. Whichever you prefer. Khornite Lord still regenerating his health. He'll get there eventually. Bless him. Razorback over here. Going a little bit too far ahead. But baiting out those melter bombs. And here he is. Sons of Dawns ready in there. What a strong overall unit. But everyone just being a bit sheepish. Everyone just being a bit shy. No one quite feeling the desire to push out as of yet. Not seeing much from the Dark Angels, although we do have one dude on a motorbike. Ah, the Master Bike, yes. There we go. I was right. Well done, me. Might have got the name of the tech path wrong, but I certainly knew what it was. There we go. Perturaba, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Here he comes. The chunkiest of boys. I do love this model. It's really, really good. So he gives an accuracy bonus to anyone nearby him, I do believe. As well as having access to a Exterminatus level kind of orbital bombardment. So we might see it. I hope we see it. I don't think we've ever actually seen it being done well. We saw it once many, many moons ago. Of a Whirlwind Scorpius, a piece of artillery for the Imperial Fists. And some Devastator Centurions up against some other ones. This is going to be quite the slog, but we still have the Cornite Raptors. These guys are going to take all these Devastators and Destroyers, engage them in close combat. As Perturaba inches forward, ready to strike anything down in close combat. Also, substantial amount of health, 9,500. Got double minefields going on down here, so that will slow down and damage a lot of people. You have a Razor Wing Dark Talon, which has just been taken out by some of these Space Marines around the backside. But turrets are being taken out. And, oh god, look at that. There it is. That's a beautiful little explosion from Perturaba. Seems that the Cornite Raptors, they've more or less died straight away in that. Yeah, they're not durable. Oh, we've got two left over here on the backside. It's quite nice for them. This middle bit as well has been flanked by some Dark Angels in the distance. Predator Executioner doing quite well. Perturaba also falls down to the ground. So yeah, these guys just playing a defensive game. They were pushed back really far. Took them 2 minefields, 1 missile, one turret. But they've still got quite a strong fighting force left. Like I say, those Cornite Raptors not built for longevity in that kind of engagement. We've got some Red Butchers now. Now these guys are a lot more tankier. Not sure if they've got a teleportability. I can't remember if they've got like a teleportability where they can just get straight in. They are very expensive. They do a hell of a lot of damage once they get in there. But I imagine that the low econs of some of these players will be starting to hurt. Just a little bit, just a smidgen. We are going to see Perturaba 2 Electric Boogaloo. He's on the way. Now, in this situation, I'm not sure if Perty or Rogaldon in this case, just for sense of talking about the actual unit itself, don't know if he's going to add too much against this kind of thing. Now, what's the name of your player? Sorry, if Eri had a good firing line, then I think maybe Rogel would be a good idea. Because, like I say, increase the accuracy. He's kind of like a one-man front line himself, so that makes sense if he's got someone to contest with. But when it's all like this, probably one of these, a Land Raider Achilles Alpha, trading his normal gun for a dual Volkite Culivian cannon, however you'd say that. Either way, it does a lot of damage, and it's pretty good. Ideal against infantry and vehicles, which is what is going on over here. Seeing a lot of things in the Hand of Dawn, however. These guys are now going to be on the offensive for the first time in this game, more or less. Striking down Plasma Generator and Listing Post alike. Moving forward in a torrent of yellow anger. Down this side, the Dark Angels giving the Weldy a taste of their own medicine. Master Bike on the flanks. A Razor Wing Dark Talon on the tops. And, well, the Red Butchers, they've got no ranged option whatsoever. They've only got their close combat weaponry. And they are very slow. So they can be avoided quite easily. But once they get in there, cutting and swaying, they'll be totally fine. Over on this side, these guys are going to continue to push in. We have a Venerable Dreadnought, very strong, high health kind of Dreadnought. These guys are going to fall back a smidgen. Land Raider Achilles Alpha leading that retreat. Perturber 10% away from spawning once again. The Assault Centurions looks like they're teleporting away. It looked like they were stunned over something. But now the World Eaters now suffering from the lack of ranged weaponry. These Razor Wings just totally fine to go around and shoot whatever they fancy. Sons of Dawn. Oh, I don't think we've actually seen Sons of Dawn before. Look at these guys. Strong hammers, ready to burst down any doors that they can find. Sons of Perturber then. And here he comes back out once again. Let's see if he can strike down a Land Raider. Oh, never mind. He's just a little bit slower than a Land Raider. But come back. I want to hit you with my sword. We've got a glaive as well. Ah, now this guy. This is quite the beefy tank. Takes a lot to take care of this guy. 10,000 health. Huge turrets and las cannons and shooty bits. Yeah, he's not. Oh, and a flamer as well, because why not? Yeah, he's got one of everything. This is not looking very pretty for the Iron Warriors here. They are going to be struggling quite substantially. Rogaldon hiding in the corner with his Assault Siege Terminator squads. Will come over, much like the Red Butchers. Gonna have a bit of a difficulty, considering that they've got no ranged weaponry, but they're going to give it a good old college try. Slamming down on the Predator Executioner. Rogaldon has now seen the error of his ways from retreating. He will come back over. But it seems he's just accepted his fate. Not sure whether he's trying to summon the big explosion thing again. Centurion Assault Squad teleporting in. Looks like they'll be... Oh, they don't even get a chance to give him a punch round the shins. Oh, well, that was quite exciting. We saw like a literal siege. Iron Warriors trying to get into the base of the Imperial Fists, but their defensive nature was just too good. And then, well, when the siege was broke, then came out and then finished the job. And bless here, just must have felt so impotent, waving his power axes and chain fists and whatever up at the sky, saying, "Damn you, the aviation." He's going to try and rebuild the massacre chambers down here, but I'm going to call it. It is a Southern team indeed that wins. So Loyalists have one win. Let's see who wins the next game. Alright, so here we are with the second game. This is a 3v3 on Carver City, and this is in Ultimate Apocalypse. Playing for the Loyalists, we've got Martin, we've got Stranger, and we have got me. And then playing for the Traitors, we've got Psycherd, we've got Tiger Shark, and we have got Angry Hedgehog. Now you'll notice that Tiger Shark, he's gone for... Oh, what do we call him? Almost like a traitor salamander kind of thing. Can't quite tell based on the symbol. But it's something. It's still traitors, just haven't quite got round to updating themselves with spiky bits and stuff. So this map being a very common one. Well, when I say common, not the most common of the 3v3s, but still, you see it every now and then. 3 strategic points for everyone, as well as a relic. So everyone gets to play with the big bits. But the main song and dance for this map is the big island in the middle with all the tasty... cannot sit with the blooming Chaos people summoning the cultists. Their voices are and always will be the worst ones in the entire game. Yes, we've got this main island in the middle with lots of gubbins as well as critical locations on the sides. Another thing that people tend to forget on this map is that with all this empty space, sometimes send a little flying thing over to either side and deep strike stuff in. So that is something that we need to take into consideration. And from last time, if you sit around for the lore bit at the end, any game that the Loyalists win with Space Wolves in there, we get an extra point towards our victory, so that's what I was thinking about, having some Space Wolves on the field. Whether I am able to contribute much in this game has yet to be seen, but we shall see. Raptors are going to stroll on in from Angry Hedgehog, scaring away the servitors. I'm going to turn their attention to these scouts, just sending them flying in the air. We have another squad down here as well. That's going to mean some stranger who's gone for a shade of white, and if my memory serves me correct, he's playing as a Chad Marines. Lore-friendly, I am sure. Probably a successor chapter from someone. Not quite sure which successor chapter the Chad Marines would be from. Let me know in the comments which loyalist faction would naturally spawn the Chad Marines. I imagine it would be the White Scars. I mean, they've got the white on them, haven't they? And the White Scars are pretty cool, all things considered. I'm going to send some Wolfie boys up with a brother captain. See if I can open up this area. One squad of Raptors versus a couple of squads of Marines and Scouts. Not going to do all that well, but the Raptors over here are still in this side of the things, causing all sorts of mischief and mayhem. Wonderful base placement, I like this. Armory, Chapel Barracks and Stronghold, gaining that additional benefit from being next to the plasma generator. Increasing their production rate. Or production speed, shall we say. Spreading out across this big island over here. Everyone capturing their most nearest points. Look, well, there's a little cheeky hedgehog. I should have really put the high textures on. I completely forget. You can never really do it for unification, but Ultimate Apocalypse is a little bit more stable, so you can tend to turn up the graphics a little bit more, but I just forgot. This is hour number 3 of recording today, so I'm a little bit tired. But then again, when am I not? Force Commander in the middle, firing away either side. With a captain trying to chase away these traitorous salamanders. Begone, back to your fiery pits. Nocturne does not have time for you anymore. Raptors still chasing around these servitors. These guys have not been given much of a break. Bless them. But the Raptors, only one mod left in there. God, these pipes make it terrible to get some good views on the battle. We'll jump away, saving that squad. Going to get some extra lads in there to reinforce. Do have some regular assault marines from Martin. We've got some Raptors coming into my base. Angry Hedgehog looking for some blood. And it's the worst possible time because this one I've decided to fill up all my plasma generators. Just quite sad. And I also put a heavy bottle turret down here just in case any airships came down. They'll come over and start slashing away at my plasma generator. Very, very inappropriate of them. Attack bike squadron, 3 apiece. To come in and engage in a battle fisticuffs with the Chad Marines. But the treacherous salamanders are now getting a bit of a foothold on this island over here. Assault Marines and Tactical Marines. One of them upgraded with a flamer, should he wish to torch things alive. One plasma generator has been annihilated. They're umming and ahhing whether to stay in or out. I'm going to get some Assault Marines myself. These servitors coming around en masse, see if they can repair this. And they do manage to be able to stabilise it, so the Raptors will need to start shooting and slashing at these servitors. Won't take them long to get these guys away, but this guy narrowly surviving before scuttling back over. Bless him, the just couldn't not do it, could he? I'm going to go for attack bike as well as playing as generic Space Marines. That gives us stuff, I'm sure. I can't remember what the Raptors over here cutting through a listing post. Assault Marines to see if they can sort these guys out. They should be able to. There's 2 of them. And if you saw the game yesterday, which weirdly enough, right, so the game that I posted yesterday, the vanilla game, which was Chaos vs Space Marines, that was not submitted as part of the Tug of War campaign, but I kind of should have really, shouldn't I? I should have actually saved it for today, but I didn't. So there. I recorded that one yesterday. Well, yeah, I'm recording on Friday, so don't worry about the behind the scenes stuff, just accept what I say as fact. I keep on forgetting that this is meant to be seen in the future. Got lots of Tactical Marines over here, looking down on these cultists and the Chaos Space Marines of Psycherd. Gonna have 1 attack bike from me. Gonna gingerly approach, see what I could do, but then deciding, nope, that's too much for me, no thank you. Assault Marines taking out whatever they can, but these Raptors are not in the mood for engaging with them. They're on the Servitor hunt. We'll kill him, and then once they're done, probably bees out. Although this is a little bit too much room for them to jump, I do believe. Oh no, never mind. They've got quite the range on their jump. Good stuff. Over on this side, more Raptors. In fact, Angry Hedgehog just been an absolute nuisance with these Raptors. Doing a really good job at keeping our attention split as these guys start massing up a force on the western and southern side of the map. Got some Devastators over here, which will be absolutely lethal against these tacticals. This guy's trying to run into close combat, but they're seeing there's just too much firepower for them to actually deal with, so they will have to fall back. Over on this side, I'm going to try and see if I can push people off. River Captain slicing away, got some Assault Marines round the back lines as well. Cultists falling rapidly. Baleful fire from the Chaos Attack Bike. We now have a Chaos Lord as well as, what are you? You are a Chaos Space Marine squad with a missile launcher. Looking to take down that attack bike. The attack bike narrowly looks like he's going to survive. Yeah, he'll survive. He'll be alright. Chaos Space Marine's been utterly routed. But while that's going on over on this side, the Raptors, like I say, giving us no respite, no reprieve. Don't have a moment's spare time to think on ourselves. We get some more tactical marines, see if we can shake them away. Going for all our upgrades. But 2 tacticals versus 10, 11 Raptors. They won't do all that well, but we've got some marines with a flaming out. Seeing if they can give them the old 1-2. Back over onto this side. Traitor Salamanders going toe-to-toe with these submarines. Submarines deciding to try and engage in a bout of ranged combat with these Devastators. Not sure if that's what the Codex Astartes would suggest. I don't think the Codex Astartes was written at this time, though, was it? It was after the war? Midway for the war? I don't know. You'll be able to tell me in the comments there. You always do, and I appreciate it. A bit of a stalemate at the moment. No one quite able to conquer the majority of this centerpiece here. My base is still struggling. Chaos Disco all the way around. Devastator's been chased around. And where have my Assault Marines gone? Oh, have they come back over it? No, these aren't Assault Marines. Been forced into some sort of situation. Raptors now seeing my Plasma Generator farm over here. I thought I'd place it in the corner because it'd be the least likely to be seen. Assault Marines with a Sergeant. He's got his power axe out. Amazing at chunking through big health single target units. Or models. I suppose all models are single health in the grand scheme of things. But the middle bit, with the Chaos Attack Bike falling, these guys are unmasked, they've got the numerical advantage. So they're just going to come over and murderize all these traitor salamanders. Plasma guns, heavy bolters, you name it, they've got it. Submarine's looking a little bit worse for wear there, but they've got another squad down here, chasing away these Devastators. Just giving these guys enough room to make their work done without being bothered by them. Down this side. Oh, this is where my Assault Marines went. They chased after one squad of Raptors. Fairy dues, man. Fairy dues. They're going to get them as good as they can. Devastators. Oh, where have my Devastators gone? Have they all died? Probably. Fair enough, the Tactical Marines are going to do stuff there. Got a Sorcerer Lord. A very Zinchinian looking kind of dude. We come over with this really cool looking backpack, but he's going to disappear somewhere. A regular old Dreadnought coming for... Oh, he's hiding behind the wall. Throwing on a Chains of Torment. These guys aren't going to go anywhere, but I imagine they're planning on staying there for as long as they can. That's where they wanted to be. Got a lot of shooty bits down here as well, in the form of a twice upgraded listening post and a heavy bolter turret. Oh, we've also got some Rubik Marines as well. That's cool. Don't often see Rubik Marines in the Ultimate Apocalypse things. Someone get these Raptors away. This is now no longer fun. This is now an exercise in frustration. Massive props. He is just constantly, no matter where he is. He's also gone for Hell Talons now, so you think that those Raptors were really annoying, but now with Hell Talons as well. And all this backstage tomfoolery is kind of forcing us to not commit too much to the assault. That was very cheeky from the Sorcerer Lord. Teleporting in, giving him the blast before running past. This Dreadnought currently unopposed by any anti-vehicular kind of weaponry, so he's just going out for a little bit of a stroll. Another Chaos Dreadnought coming out with shark fin-like hands. In fact, that's a lot of Dreadnoughts. A lot of Dreadnoughts. Submarines using their ranged weapons to try and fend off these Hell Talons, but not going to do them all that much. But we do now have a squadron of Land Speeder Tempest from Martin. So hopefully their anti-air capabilities are going to take care of those Hell Talons. One squad of Devastators around the front side, trying to keep these Servitors on this listening post safe while they build up their stuff. In the middle, another Chaos Disco is abound. They've built a machine cult on top of the mountain, or the central structure. And this is a visual treat, I must say. Fighting through Warp Flame. One Dreadnought goes down, another one looking to be taken down fairly soon. Hellfire Dreadnought for Stranger. The missile launcher on that lad was much appreciated and welcome. There are more Dreadnoughts over on this side. They're going to start capping this critical location using these scouts. But another Hellfire Dreadnought as well. I think that's the plan to make. Use the Hellfire Dreadnoughts to not only assist in the destruction of the regular Dreadnoughts, but also the Hell Talons and the heavy infantry as well. Do have a Chaos Icon Bearer, giving general buffs and stuffs to everyone nearby. There's some blue stuff from the Chaos Sorcerer, doing AoE damage to everyone nearby. Chaos Lord as well in there, providing some melee assistance. And this is an absolute slobber knocker. Does some Space Wolves as well, just keeping these guys busy at the front, allowing these guys to engage in some firing. But this Chaos Lord Sorcerer, he's just not, he doesn't care, does he? Much like the Sorcerer Lord in Unification, he's just doing alright. There's a lot of firepower to take him down. And gradually, over a short period of time, we are able to bring up the firepower and smite down the traitors once again in the centre. These guys losing most, if not all, of their army here. And while this is going on, we do have Landspeeder Tempests giving these guys a taste of their own medicine, but some heavy bottle turrets upgrade with missile launchers and managed to fend these guys away. Don't think that they are as tanky as the Hellblades. There we go, we've got Chaos Rhino. Let's have a quick look at the economies while we're free. It is 149 and 95, 216 and 172, and 179 and 158, compared to 201 and 159, 304 and 146, and 159 and 50. So there we go. It's fairly even. I'm lacking in the green department. But compared to my usual stuff in Ultimate Apocalypse, I'm not doing too bad, am I? This old shark's learning a few new tricks. These guys are going to take on the Thermoplasma Generator. It will take them a while, as they've got no anti-building weaponry, but... And have you? Have you got one rocket launcher? You've got one rocket launcher. That'll do a little bit of damage over time. Tiger Shark now transitioning over to his own Hellfire Dreadnoughts. Those close combat Dreadnoughts. Really useful at the beginning, but then the moment that anti-vehicle stuff came out, started to worry a little bit. I've gone for a couple, in fact I've gone for triple Stalker AAs because I'm just waiting, ready for the next Hell Talon surge coming forth. And if none comes forth, then they'll be quite good at smashing up other heavy infantry around here. Lots of, but how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Hellfire Dreadnoughts now going to make their way down over onto this side. Seems quite difficult to take on this centre point. Too much defensive stuff. So these guys are going to go around the flanks. But I'm just getting absolutely creamed over here. The firepower from the Devastators and Hellfire Dreadnoughts slowing these guys down a little bit. We still have some Landspeeder Tempest down here, but nowhere near as effective as those Hell Talons or the Raptors. Which is very unfortunate for our position. I've got some Demon Pits on the go down here. What kind of tech are we working with? Sacred Artifacts. Oh, we've got some... What are you? You are a Orbital Relay. Deep Striking. Some good stuff in there. A fleet of Hell Talons on the way from Psycherd, as well as some more Havoc Marines. On my side, I'm going for War Gear upgrades. I've gone for my second Stronghold, which is probably the first time I've ever actually got around to doing it in an actual PvP game. So well done, me. Just got stuff going on here. But it's fairly even at the moment. Thing about Chaos Space Marines versus Space Marines, they're very similar in the grand scheme of things. Mostly it's a game of... I mean, well, the longer the game goes on, the more differences there are between them. The starter, with the exception of maybe Scouts versus Cultists, there's many things that rhyme in the roster. No two units are the same for Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines, but there's lots of similarities and rhyming going on there. I've been tasked with holding the centre of these two tactical Marine squads. Don't know where the rest of my army is. Oh, my army's here, obviously, because I've tried to defend against the incoming Hell Talon attack. We've got double melter guns, which will take care of these things quite easily. Over on this side, big engagement as the Havoc Marines attempt to take on just a sheer amount of Hellfire Dreadnoughts on the way. Sorcerer Lord getting a few slices in there, but doing very little in the way of damage. Using the heavy cover to their advantage are these Havoc Marines. And with their missile launchers and their las cannons from the Sternguard veterans of the traitorous Salamanders, they are taking these Hellfire Dreadnoughts down one by one. Far too committed now to retreat. It's a case just standing there and holding what they can. And sadly, Stranger is going to lose the bulk of his forces. He's got quite the economy though, so he can still rebuild all this stuff. It will take him a little bit of a while. Hell Talons coming over, provide additional firing support, and that is them brown-breaded. Colt is going to sneak over here, take down a strategic point. We are standing firm in the sense that critical location is now in the hands of Lehman Russ. These guys now going to go around on the side. Anyone got wreck? I have 6k wreck. Do you have 6k wreck? Well, there's just no need. Why are you asking for more, Stranger? What a greedy answer. Unless he meant to say, does anyone want wreck? Probably makes a lot more sense. Possessed Marines on the way. Insanely lethal unit. Going to slap around this building. We'll take it down. Very little resistance from Martin over here. He's now transitioning over the Sternguard veterans himself, as well as some Vanguard veterans. I do believe that they are the close combat orientated version. Going to come down here and see if we can defend. We've lost the centre more or less. There's too much stuff to fight for, so we'll see if we can take these guys on. Tactical Marines have been upgraded with some armour stuff. Brotherhood Captain spinning around with his sword. These guys are no match really for the Possessed Marines. They are taking a lot of range damage. Will force them back. Without that range support, that would have gone a whole different way. And now it looks like, for the first time, the traitors have got the lion's share of the central island here. Which won't do us a goodness. Double Whirlwind Mark 1s. Super duper accurate. They only fire one rocket at a time. But the firing rate is quite quick. They are quite accurate. I do have a preference for the Mark II, personally. Just because they fire multiple rockets. Explode a wide arc. But we're not here to judge, are we? Sorcerer Lord throwing out some more blue nonsense. These Space Wolves need to fall back. They're just kind of just standing around taking unnecessary damage at this point. Stranger's rebuilding his forces, going for more tactical Marines and Devastators. Sternguards, well, yep, everyone's transitioning over to them. That's what you meant to do at this stage of the game. Am I doing that? No, I am just building lots of report turrets. I've been burnt once, I've been burnt twice, I've been... Those Raptors and those Hellblades, they hurt me. And they made me feel sad. Got some tank traps going on down here, preventing these guys from an easy access. Triple Chaos Predators. Also taking out those Landspeeder Tempests as well. I do believe that was one of mine. Coalition of troops over here, going to try and move forward, but those Whirlwinds, man, they're causing us severe issues. And double Havocs on this side. We've split us now into two separate sides. So we can't really support Martin. Martin cannot support us. And wedged apart. Just very emotional. So just multiple layers of tank traps coming in. Servitor's being bullied by the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. And the Predators trundling along. Giving out the good stuff. These possessed marines, man. Look at them go. They're up against what are you up against? Well, whatever it was, they're dead. And now with all these tank traps, they're not been built up, so... Oh, these are not loyalist ones. Oh, they are. These are traitor tainted tank traps. Okay, so that was to prevent any support from coming in this way. Very naughty. Over on this side, we are making a little bit of headway. A gradual slugfest, but it is happening. Thanks to Stranger and his Sternguard veterans, I have got maybe one squad of Devastator Marines left. I'm not sure what I've spent my money on. I've got two squads. Well done me. What have I gone for? Going for the orbital relay. Ah yeah, just spamming out the Devastators. Clearly this is a ranged engagement. At least so long as those blooming possessed marines can stay away from us. But at the moment the ball is firmly in the court of the Chaos Space Marines. The longer you have total control of the central little island here, the more likely you are to win, especially with us giving up those thermoplasma generators over there. Martin looking a little bit worse for wear, but he has got a couple of Predators, 2 Annihilators, good for vehicles and Titans, and Predator Executioner armed with its plasma cannon. So good mix of ranged options here. We are kind of falling back, just giving them the space necessary. These guys are jumping inside the orbital relay. That's the general plan and idea. Ironclad Dreadnoughts coming from me. More Devastators, more squad caps as well. We've got the econs, we've got the time. After a while, in Ultimate Apocalypse, the economy kind of becomes a bit moot because everyone's got so much resources to play with, or so many resources to play with, if I can use my grammar correctly. So it's a case of using your production to the best of your ability. Possessed Marines are just slicing their way through all the tanks. Terminators out for Martin. Rubik Marines just sliding in there. These guys do a lot of damage to infantry. But I'm going to try and assist Ironclad Dreadnought being summoned in. Seeing if I can punch a Possessed Marine or two. I've had enough of these boys. They are going to go down. At least I hope. But then, just to kind of piss on my cornflakes, I bring up one Ironclad Dreadnought thinking I'm all clever and stuff. And Tiger Shark brings out 3. Because I can't have anything nice, can I? That's not the way it works. Devastator's over here, trying to slice up this listing post, but the Whirlwind Mark 1, with all my dudes being really closely tied together. Yeah, that's a quadruple. That's just unnecessary levels of artillery. But he's doing it, gosh darn it. Over on this side, we do have Stranger, who's deep stricken all his stuff in a counter sort of offensive. The Tiger Shark having loads of dreadnoughts on standby in his orbital relays. He's able to make use of them, but will die more or less instantly. An Angry Hedgehog. Very lucky that he had quite a lot of his army in his base at the time. Because if he didn't, this could have been an entire base wipe. He will stand in the corner, using the terrain to prevent any kind of flanking manoeuvres. Now this is a lot of las cannons, so how effective they'll be actually killing the Havoc Marines, and the production speed of these Ironclad Dreadnoughts definitely a little bit more robust than the reinforcement rate of the Sternguard veterans. These guys are up and about their business, because they're going to fall back to maybe a better, more advantageous position. Over on this side, we are holding these guys back. Terminator's really adding a lot to this defensive formation. Force Commander and Chaos Lord going toe-to-toe in the middle. My Devastators keeping these Rubik Marines occupied. But the Whirlwinds really... Oh, no, no. Aha, there we go. That's what I did. thought, no, you whirlwinds, you shouldn't be doing that. So I sent some dreadnoughts over there. Whether they kill them all is a different story. Corn Terminators will back these guys against the wall. Quite manoeuvrable, actually, for Terminators. As we saw the Red Butchers in the previous game today. They're quite slow, but these guys, they just want to get stuck in. Steinguard veterans, they've got nowhere to go. Whether they live or die is entirely on how they perform today. Force Commander has been annihilated. Corn Terminators. Are these guys going to get any reinforcements? Will Stranger deem them worthy of additional drop pod reinforcements? Look up to the skies saying, brothers, we need support. The Corn Champion, Angry Hedgehog, decidedly going for that Corn variant in the Chaos Space Marines. I do believe that you can dedicate yourself to a Chaos God in All Apocalypse. I've not really played that much in the way of Chaos Space Marines. So Corn and Zinch, by the looks of things, working together like best friends. Infinite Ironclad Dreadnoughts from the Traitor Salamanders. And we are being pushed back quite considerably here. These guys are all summoning a Pillar of World End, which will allow them to bring forth, just spamming all the demons. Doesn't matter which way they go, so long as they come forth. Demonettes coming round to ask us to subscribe to their OnlyFans, and we say no. Begone, thoughts. But all the simps come over, defending them in the chat. Disgraceful, I know. We're not stopping with Ironclad Dreadnoughts. Now bringing as many of them online as humanly possible, just to at least garner us a little bit of time. Assault Terminators coming in, ripping us apart. Very emotional stuff. Was not able to take out all the whirlwinds. I think that, although they didn't make like the biggest like initial impact, just the gradual damage over time that we're constantly able to apply to our troops there definitely hurt us in that particular firefight. We've now got just chaos. Chaos in my base. Psycho decided, right, I don't want you to exist anymore, Mr. Landshark. Be gone. Trying to summon more Ironclad Dreadnoughts in. Just to hold on. Even got them building up in the machine cult over here. And now the Stalker AAs should have really have pulled us back when we realised that, well, I didn't know that the Hell Talons stopped, but you know, the fear was there, man. Stricken fear in the flanks of my tanks. And the Stalker AAs are going to go down relatively quickly. Over on this side, we do have the Traitor Salamanders going towards the Chad Marines. Not going just yet. We're going to wait a little bit, wait for some additional reinforcements. We are seeing Terminators and stuff. I did give basically all my money over to Stranger, so he could defend as best he could. Over on this side as well, Martin suffering at the hands of Angry Hedgehog. Did have a minefield. That's an interesting way of... Could drop Claw of Mines, why not? Corn Terminators ripping apart everyone. The Chief Librarian there trying to bonk this Champion of Corn over the head with his staff. That's the real magic right there. Magic is violence, or violence is magic, however that term went. Now got a traitorous Land Raider Phoebus on the way. Chaos Space Marines not backing down at all. But neither the Terminators, they've got their power weapons, they've got their power fists. They might not win in a close combat engagement with your Corn Terminators, but they'll certainly hold their own as best they can. Look at the speed on these boys. Just really keen to get in there. You know, one slap and they've been taken down. Over my side, we're holding on for as long as we can, gosh darn it. Angry Hedgehog throwing out the ooh-woo, which is disgraceful. Never been so disappointed in a play of my life, but there we go, it has to happen eventually. Don't mean that, obviously. It's a joke. We're all jokes here. Managed to get that... almost got the heavy armour deployment, but sadly this is not the way it was meant to be. Terminators from Stranger being donated over to see if he can keep us alive for a little bit longer. But Martin has been killed. Nothing left of his base now. Just a bunch of traitorous scum going about their business. Some demons left over from the Pillar of the Worlds. In fact, there's still some coming over. There's a constant stream of demons. Gosh darn it, we will fight for every inch of land humanly possible. No one's going to take us on. For every traitor we crush beneath our heels, there's another traitor that doesn't assault our brothers later on in a different engagement. Chaos Thunderhawk dropping off some... What are you dropping off? Some more Chaos people. And the sheer amount of firepower in Stranger's base. This is going to be quite the last stand. Got a million Horrors now taking care of the vehicles in my base. Some traitorous Ironclad Dreadnoughts been dropped in. But he's holding, baby. At least this dude is. Got our own little defensive corner over here. We'll be dragged into the warp, kicking and screaming. Yeah, that's a lot of pink horrors, man. That's a game-ending amount. Quite a nice shade of pink as well. A bright hue, I like that. That's good. These guys are getting some sort of buff, not sure where the buff is coming from. Some rubric kind of stuff going on there. I assume it's from the icon bearer. That's what I'm going to assume. But look at them, they're just not. They will not die. You get these blood letters, send them packing. You're not the proper blood letters anyway. You look too Minotaurish. From a deep strike beacon now being slapped around as well by the Chaos Dreadnought. Over on this side, these guys are attempting to push in, but don't quite have the numbers as of yet. This is a very narrow strip of land that they have to engage with. Well, Land Raider Helios got its missiles on the back for long-ranged engagements. Land Raider Phobos, let's get nice and close and personal. But the Helios is fan of those long-range engagements. And that is me done. Only Stranger left, so we've got this whole gaggle of stuff. Are you just sliding along? Look at these guys. Some warp trickery going on there. So now it's a case of, can these guys get inside the base? It's all to be seen here. Be still my beating frame rate. Terminators move forward. And the defense begins. Demonettes being cast asunder. Dreadnought instantly vaporized. Is Stranger getting any nuclear weapons? Because that would certainly help him in this regard. No, not at the moment. He is building up a load of heavy bottle turrets around this side to prevent anyone from getting around the side with aircraft. Chaos Disco has been activated. They will be able to see them. So artillery will be able to fight on top of them. But at the moment, no one's getting through. The sheer amount of... Oh no, that's unfortunate. Corn Terminators jumping straight in. Going to provide a little bit of screening for these guys to move a bit forward, but... Good lord. Predator Annihilators. Stalker AAs. The never-ending march of the Ironclad Dreadnoughts. Terminators have jumped away somewhere, I assume. Oh, you've jumped right on the back there. Okay, fair enough. Carrying on the firepower. The Chaos Space Marines are now pouring into the base here. The Chad Marines are making them bleed for every square inch of land on the comings in. A regular Chaos Sorcerer in here. Forming what looks to be like a clone. Yep, you are a clone. And a Chaos Shrine just being plonked right down in the middle. Just to add insult to injury. The Terminator still firing. Pillar of Worlds End. More demons going to be summoned straight in the middle of Stranger's base here. They're being instantly deleted. Much like the end of Sharknado, the way to take care of a Sharknado is by throwing dynamite at it. Same with a Pillar of the World's End, you just shoot it until it goes away. You have a lot of change, just ominously looking and observing this invasion here. Absolute madness. Lines are holding. Demon Prince has done a little bit of damage, but like, I suppose that's the problem. Like, these Terminators and Stranger with all his units can kill everything that's coming, but the thing that comes kills a little bit, and then once it dies, just another thing comes to replace it. The unending tide of warp madness. Some Assault Terminators coming in. They're quite brave, aren't they? A melee unit in this kind of engagement, but they've got the health for it. They do manage to punch their way through this. Lot of change, taking a few beams to the chops. Got that statuette being taken down. A huge explosion. Some chaos stuff, I imagine. Was that an EMP? Not sure. Can't remember. Either way, the base is slowly crumbling. Horrors are now in range, so they'll be able to do some damage towards these Predators. In fact, actually, the moment these guys get into range, the Predators start to suffer quite tremendously. So now it is more or less just the Terminators and their turrets. Stranger's building up a stronghold round the back here. That is an amazing amount of firepower. From so few, so much given. More Ironclad Dreadnoughts being shot around the side. The significant amount of turrets should be able to help them break him down quickly. Another armory being built up here so they can keep up with their amount of assault cannons and heavy flamers. You have one Chaos Lord in Terminator armor just being slowed so much by all the incoming firepower. And now all they have to do is kill this stronghold here, and the Force of Chaos will have won this day. But they have lost so much stuff in this. Quite a significant amount. More Demonettes coming over. But instantly wiped out. Those ladies are not built for this kind of engagement. Got some Obliterators on that side, forcing the Terminators away from the corner. So they're going to rally around the stronghold as best they can. More warp shenanigans by the looks of things. A baleful lightning strike. Another Pillar of the World's End. And actually, yeah, so the Chaos Forces have used have they used the thing where they make everyone go mad? Nah, it doesn't look like it. They're fine. A lot of change going to come in, but a lot of flambe more like. He's getting toasted up quite nicely. Demons do not like being set on fire, like most things. We're going to see another stronghold being put right in the corner here. So like I said, every possible inch of land desperately fought for. Only demons left on the front lines at the moment. Got some Obliterators as well. But it's just not ending. There's just more. There's always more to come. A lot of change, throwing down some big zaps. Doing a little bit of damage, but not too much, these Terminators. More Demonettes, more Khorne Berserkers, well, sorry, Bloodletters even. Repositioning these Terminators. No one's anywhere even close to getting there at the moment. Who knows, maybe it's a chance for... I mean, we've got an Infernal Rift, that's something. But like, maybe even... Can we pull it back? Who knows? It's I know how this game ends. Obviously, I imagine you guys know how this game ends as well. But it's just very thematic. See how this goes. Might even treat you to looking at the numbers at the end game screen, just because we don't normally do that, but I want to see how many things Stranger has killed in this defense here. There we are, they've massed the numbers. What kind of economy are you running on, Mr. Stranger? You've still got plenty of money to buy new things, but yeah, they activate their super weapon. Satellite particle cannon. His terrorists have to jump out the way to survive. And they think, shall we jump to safety? No, we shall engage in combat one last time. We will go out screaming for the God Emperor. And finally, after a good solid 10 minutes, I think it felt like 10 minutes at the very least, of gradually being pushed back, the forces of chaos win. So for law reasons, in fact, actually, we shall quit the battle. We shall look at the numbers. But yeah, so for law reasons, there was a total of about 10 games being played for the Tug of War, and a grand total of 6 were won by Loyalists, and 4 were won by the traitors. So this time, the Loyalists have won. How exciting is that? Look at that, 726 units killed. Absolutely bonkers. How many units lost? 150. Well done, me. Oh yeah, Psycho losing 619. Oh my goodness, that's a Rey Mysterio reference. You old people out there. Cool, yes, I shall throw you over to the to Carl Franz, and he can tell you all about what's happened in the story so far.
Like a great grasping claw, the traitor assault had reached forth to greedily grasp entire sectors in one swift fell swoop. Against mortal forces, such a ploy may have delivered, more so as allies and turncoats were readily available for the War Master. Even against the outnumbered forces of Space Marines, success may have been had. The traitors and those in their league had spread far to seize all that their liege desired. The Space Wolves and Iron Hands, however, had not. With a renewed fury, the Loyalists banded together and stood their ground against the foes of terror, who had stretched their clasping hands too far. The Regency was for now spared the vengeance of the Loyalists. Aside from the occasional raider or blockade runner, only the remaining partisans of terror lingered on in their besieged bastions, hoping, and some even praying for salvation from outside. The sieges were long and tedious, as is common for such work, but the result would be inevitable. Still, even in absence, the loyal legions made their mark, for the Iron Hands, who had stormed several ramparts in quick order, were called to more important fields of war. The dull, dangerous sieges were now a contest of man against man, without superhumans on either side. Among the vibrant starlight of the luminous stars, the Iron Hands made their appearance in force. With cold precision, they selected their prey and pounced. What had a short time ago seemed a certain if distant traitor triumph was suddenly rebalanced anew. The sector slowly solidified into a less chaotic zone of war, as traitor and loyalist alike cut their losses and selected those worlds where victory was possible. This left many who endorsed either cause without the support they required. These unfortunates soon found themselves at the mercy of their opposition, who were eager to punish their foes. The Space Wolves were known for their aggression and boldness. When they arrived in Bros Imprimaris, filled with lust for battle, they did not commit to the idle consolidation and attrition the Imperial Fists had preferred. Instead of dispersing to keep a dozen worlds in the fold, the Wolves of Fenris went for the throat. In a swift and overwhelming move, they assaulted Batzil III, where the traitors thought to hold court and give an appearance of normalcy. Any such ploy was bound to fail when thousands of howling barbarians ravaged their centers of power. Though bereft of total victory, the new battle on Batzil III was far more evenly matched. In their own way, the Space Wolves had acquiesced to the Imperial Fist's demands, for the traitor legionaries withdrawn to the capital allowed the other Imperial loyalists to turn many a defeat into a stalemate, and many a stalemate into a victory. The traitor assault on Brozin Secundus had been a foolhardy errant. Success relied more on the unexpectedness of the move, which had caught the loyalists off guard. But they quickly recovered their posture. To their aid came such detachments of legionaries who had been sent to rest and refit away from the front lines. Astartes are a scarce resource, and so for them, rest and refit means merely a reduction in the intensity of war. With such advantages, the Loyalists struck back and turned the traitors back. These adapted, and instead of conquest, aimed for a lesser goal. The flow of reinforcements to Brosin Primaris was to be curtailed as much as possible. Destruction and defense were now the order of the day. In the Tyran Warhold's world, Eaters faced a task most unusual for this legion. They were still engaged in the relentless butchery so favored by the 12th Legion. However, this time there was a twist. While a sufficient number of men had to be slain to convince the Lords of the Warholds to switch allegiance. This had to be done without damaging their military might for years to come. For the War Master sought to make use of warriors wherever he found them. Thus, the World Eaters adapted to alter their business from destroy everything in their wake to slay everyone in their way. Even honorable summons for surrender and pardon were issued, something entirely alien to this legion. Success was thus slower than expected, but in time it was achieved. The first of the Warholds went over to the War Master, and their soldiers set forth to do battle in Horus' name. Among the minor factions outside the Imperial fold, little had changed. The Raider League and Kabli Scabites found their deal with the traitors most profitable. Even so, there were voices in the traitor camp who questioned the use of these outlaws. The most concerned of these were the lords of the local sectors. They knew that while the Space Marines and the expeditionary forces would depart, after victory was won, it would be they who were left with the consequences of the newly empowered pirates. The mystics and priests of the Zealous Legion had fallen deep indeed. Though the Imperial truth had sought to erase the knowledge and temptation of darker forces, the Zealous Legion still knew them. Where once they had been the guardians against these abyssal devils, now they found themselves on the path to damnation. The word-bearers proved great shepherds, as the last voices in opposition to chaos were silenced. As the war dragged on, more and more fighting would fall on local mortal armies. Imperial doctrine called for such forces to be used for pursuit, mopping up operations and static defense. But the escalation demands of war often overshadow the remote musings of doctrine. Thus, the best of the auxilia and army were called to offensives of their own.